Tony O'Donovan, welcome to the show. Thank you for your time. How are you?
I'm very well, Daniel. Very well. Things are good, and hopefully things are good with you in Germany as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Tony, I want to start right over with asking you about your role at no other than Tesco, one of the biggest supermarket chains and companies in the world. What do you do with Tesco?
So my role, Daniel, at Tesco is to head up pest control for Group. And what that means is I help put together strategies and development and what good looks like for pest control within Tesco. And I've been doing that for a couple of years now. I've been in the pest control industry for 25 years. But my role within Tesco's is really being that guidance within the business, if you like, to what we should be doing in the coming years around a strategy for pest control, not only in the UK, but overseas, where Tesco's are as well overseas. And making sure the rest of the business understand the importance, which I must admit they're very, very good at, and understanding the journey that we want to go on and why we want to change how we develop and how we deliver pest control within Tesco's.
And I think that's going to be the main topic for today, Tony. We discussed the schedule already. We're going to talk about your development in pest control, as you just said, because I know you at Tesco, you guys are working extremely hard on finding new strategies on how to manage pests, and you're doing that extremely well. This is why I'm super keen to have you on the show. Before we start, though, with the main topic, I would like just a short glimpse on how you dealt with COVID. I know that pest control is a key industry. You said you had next to zero impact on service delivery.
Yeah, we really haven't found, Daniel, much of an impact on us as a client around service delivery for pest control. We've always deemed pest control companies and employees as essential workers, and we haven't had an impact around service delivery at all across the board. So we've been probably fairly fortunate. Obviously, all our sites and stores have been operating through the lockdown period. But around service delivery, we've been very fortunate, and we really haven't had an impact at all. It's been quite a positive response from our side around the pest control delivery and service that we've received.
To over 6,000 stores, I think, not in the UK alone, but worldwide over 6,000?
Worldwide, I think it's probably close to 7,000 stores and probably close to 4,000 in the UK.
Yeah, so again, another thought on pest managers. It makes sense to support the food industry and people that bring products to market like yourselves. Thank you so much for that. I want to now start talking about your journey when it came to digital pest control devices and the future of pest control at Tesco, but also why you started thinking that things could be done better. I know you have broad a background in pest control over 25 years, and you know that pest control has been more or less the same for the past 25 years, and not much changed. And you've now decided, for some various reasons, that at Tesco some things will change. Can you tell everybody maybe your story about why that has been brought into your attention and what you try to change, what the issues were, and then we're going to make our way forward towards the solution.
Okay, well, I've been, as you say, been in pest control for a long time, and I've always liked innovation. I've always liked the way the pest control industry is looking to change and develop. I saw what was going on around legislation, not only in the UK but in Europe as well, and some of the restrictions perhaps that could be coming the pest control companies' way and the industry's way in the coming years around rodenticide. And I really started to look at what, for a portfolio like ours, which is everything from transport to distribution to retail across up to 4,000 sites, how that could look and how that should look in the coming years, and how is that robust enough to deal with the challenges that we would face 2, 3, 4 years down the line, and really what's out in the markets and what would be best for us as a client, and where we should be really should be pitching ourselves around what level of service we should receive, and the type of service as well.
Mm-hmm.
So really almost taking it back to saying, so what's out there, what could we use, what can give us the information and the trends that we're looking for. And so we did a lot of work looking into really where we'd like to be as a business around pest control, and almost what we believe should look like. So
you also you just highlighted rodenticides as you did the status quo analysis at Tesco. You've seen all the reports, obviously, that are omnipresent in all the media and pest control literature, that pest control tools like rodenticides, anticoagulant rodenticides, are going to be more and more restricted. In some areas, even not super powerful anymore because of resistancy of rodents. So what was it? Only sustainability approaches at Tesco that I'm sure you're looking at as well, or was it also that it was not good enough anymore when it came to efficiency of that product or that solution to control and manage pests?
I think on the question, is it good enough? I think that we could probably spend hours probably going over and debating that. I think there's certain elements that are effective around rodenticide baiting, but I did see challenges coming. I did see that whether it's resistance issues or whether it's legislation, and really what's best for the environment. And I've always thought that pest controllers generally aren't people who like to go around killing things. Actually, they're quite the opposite. They actually like their environment, and really, so what would be best? Where could we could take this? What would be the best solution for us? But also, as a client, being able to give us the right information at the right time, and information that we could actually use, and we could actually look at our own business and say, how do we get better? How do we improve what we do? So it has to be, it has to work both ways, really. It has to be effective, but it has to also give us the information and the data that we require, we want.
You earlier said that data, you needed data with merit. Data is gold, obviously, in the 21st century. And one of my other guests, Håkan Kjellberg, based at a company in Sweden, said that knowing is better than guessing. A lot of your analysis also took place on the basis that you want to gather more data to also forecast and manage everything you do better. Was data a huge effect on how you took this?
Yeah, data is very, very important. When you look at a portfolio of sites, which is 4,000 sites, for instance, and everything from distribution to retail, knowing and understanding what's going on and why is hugely important, because then you can look to put fixes in place. But also around recommendations. So tell us what we need to do as a client. Tell us how we can get better. Give us some data on the back of that actually justifies us taking those steps and those challenges on. And all of that is really what drives us as a business. Tell us how we can get better. Tell us about recommendations. Tell us how we can improve what we do as a client to help the pest control company be effective. So data's very important, I think, for a client like us. Yeah.
And then you said one of your key decisions, and I think one of the biggest takeaways from today's interview should be you've invested a lot into digital. Took the decision that the way forward, Tesco is going to go with digital helpers, digital devices that are going to bring you data to have better decision management. So then getting to that point where we understood what we wanted and we need. So where we are now as a business is we're rolling out what I'm told will be the largest connected technology contract for pest control anywhere in the world. So probably 2/3 of our estate at least will be connected technology, and that's both inside and outside. So that's the step that we've taken. So it's quite a bold one, but without doubt, in my belief, it's the right one to take, and really start to say, we understand technology's out there, we understand it's effective, let's use it. Let's get out there and actually have that in our portfolio, and actually
use the benefits of that. So that's the route we've taken, and at the moment we're rolling that out, and that's in the UK. So yeah, at least 2/3 of our estate will be connected technology for monitoring purposes. It'll be only connected technology, both inside and out. So
Wow.
that's kind of where we've gone.
That's hugely impressive for one of the industry leaders like yourselves to make that decision. And I think, it's obvious that if you're talking about 2/3 of your sites, we're talking not about hundreds of thousands, probably tens of thousands of devices that you're installing into your sites that are delivering data every day. So we're going to talk about 2-3 figure millions of alerts or pieces of information, calls or whatever per Internet of Things device. So intelligent trap, smart trap, whatever you want to call it, per year, which is impressive. And I think with all that data, you're going to be the very first in the world to actually measure what it does to a group and a corporate like yourself, to receive that data, manage it, and take actions of it. And hence my question, obviously let you react to my statement, but also my question would be, do you think pest control might change from reactive to proactive?
I'd hope so. I think, yeah, from us, if you go back to data, I mean, even things like when the device is activated, how often it gets activated in a certain area, all of that type of data, what recommendations are around it within that type of environment, in that part of the building, all of that type of information we can use and work on actually to improve. So yeah, it's hugely important for us to do something like that and have these devices. And actually, as well, if we're taking out rodenticide and we're not actually having rodenticides anymore, I think my own view would be connected technology has a huge role to play in pest control going forward. I'm not sure yet whether it's the be all and end all, and I like to think that you need to have other elements in your arsenal to turn to if needed. But when you're talking about monitoring, then I think I'm convinced that's really the way both clients and the pest control industry should be looking and should be moving. I think perhaps if somebody like us can do it, and there's 3,000 odd stores and properties, then it can be done. I think in almost any situation.
Anywhere, yeah. And also, I mean, I also agree with you, and that's not because I'm biased, because I think we're data-driven ideologists. Because Bobby Corrigan, Dr. Robert Corrigan of the US, probably one of the most well-known rodentologists of the world and rodent experts for pest control, said that digital or connected technology is a no-brainer, because just you get more data, and as a pest controller, you have to act like a detective, and the more information you have, the better.
Yeah, I love that, and my view has always been, I think, good pest controllers have an inquisitive mind. They have a mind which is why. Tell me why. It's not about just killing things. It's about actually tell me why. I want to understand what's going on. I want to understand why something is here. How do I stop it? How do I stop it reoccurring? All that kind of mind, I think, with a pest controller, the data helps them.
Yeah.
So that data, you get that data back, and it allows you then to start looking at trends and starting to try and understand why things happen. Mm-hmm. If you understand why, then perhaps you can stop them from reoccurring.
Yeah.
So I think hopefully with most pest controllers, they would feel that inquisitive mindset. Hopefully.
Pretty incredible news. I think everybody that's going to listen to that interview is going to be shook, because everybody, if you're going to look on, the industry leaders like Rentokil or Anticimex, and you're going to go to their website, you're going to see connected and smart all over, and also, sustainability. What you're just telling is probably the world's biggest pest control contract going to digital. So that's probably the biggest news for a change in our industry. And obviously, you're probably partnering with one of the industry leaders, which would also be probably a good idea to do. And I think that could actually be the tipping point for what everybody the past 10 years, the past decade, spoke about so much, which was digital pest control, and how could it change and affect our industry, as so many other industries were affected by digitization. Now, in an industry like ours, which is really, there's so many boxes in various areas that are very, very hard to reach, like, underneath some, in a big warehouse, outdoors, where you have, in European areas, you have winter and you have summer. So it could be snowing, it could be 30 degrees Celsius or something. Yeah. So I think the reason why it took so long was because it was not just an incremental process of some data stream we had to integrate as a program, but we also had to build the products. And as you said, we pest control, we like our tools, and we are inquisitive. So we really, really went into detail that these products we think of are also made for the real world, right?
I think so. And I think for me, I'm slightly biased because I love the pest control industry. I think that pest control companies and industries generally have an awful lot more to give and to say than actually is being recognized by most clients. I think it is quite a skilled industry. And my own personal view, and I might be wrong, is that what I think will happen over time with more and more technology is you will see a movement away from technicians as we understand them to be now, and probably more and more of a view of almost auditors. What we're after is the connected technology tells me information, but tell me other stuff. Give me your personal opinion, put a report together for me, give me clear recommendations, and really upskilling the clients on actually how technical pest control can be. Actually, how skilled the pest controllers can be, and I think I hope that pest control industry changes and adapts with technology to actually be seen as a far higher skilled service delivery than actually it is at the moment. And I'm hoping that the technology kind of helps and takes it down.
Me too.
Does that make sense, Daniel?
For me personally, this is what I live and breathe for, Tony. I love pest control as well. For me, it was music to my ears listening to what you just said, because my mission mainly, with also some products that I try to support and we make, is to elevate pest managers, technicians, technical directors, companies, businesses, our industry on another level, because we are not bait box checkers and we are not the bad people that throw around with poison. We're actually people that, as right now, because we're internationally accredited as key workers, we help, it's called pest control because of the pests. So pests carry diseases and illnesses that can jump over via zoonosis to humans. So I think what we do deserves so much credit. And I know it's a lot of people reacting like, oh, you're pesty, that's disgusting. And it's not so fancy as working at Starbucks or whatnot, or being in the car dealership. But if you ask me, I'm so proud of our industry. And this is also the main interest from this interview format, to bring people like you to the attention of other people in our industry and also to other industries. So I'm really happy for the cross link here with food, yourself at Tesco, and pest control, to be able to give pest control the affirmation and recognition that it deserves in our eyes. So thank you so much for the statement.
That's okay. I'm like you. I think I've been in pest control for a long time. I love pest control. I love the pest control industry. I think for an employer like myself, that I have in Tesco's, to understand the importance to employ somebody like myself, perhaps, and say we want the best. We want to be the leading client in around how do we do things correctly? How do we lead the industry? How do we make sure that we're in a position that come 2, 3, 4 years down the line, we still have what good looks like? Now, are we really challenging and pushing our suppliers to actually give us the best there actually is? And to me, I genuinely believe that connected technology is and should be the way that the pest control industry should be looking, and I would hope that clients would embrace it and take on the connected technology that's out there, because I do think it will change, and I do think it will change to the benefit of the clients, but also to the benefit of the pest control industry as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. Tony, I would like to also inform our viewers here and the people that read the blog post that's probably going to result from the video that we're probably going to revisit that topic if we may with Tesco in the next couple of months or years or something, to also speak to you about how you use maybe also algorithms and AI to maybe help get around data better and the sheer quantity of data you sometimes have, and just speak about the development of introducing digital to your company and how you feel that product develops in the core.
Absolutely, because I don't really believe it's just around gathering data. It's having data that means something, that allows you to give a clear message, and a message that's understood and can be acted upon. So gathering data just for the sake of it, I'm not a fan of. But if you get something and you can draw out from something that gives you a key message, a key learning, then I think it's absolutely worth its weight in gold. I really do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Last but not least, we don't want to speak about that topic too much, but you just really briefly informed me that the budget and the pricing issue was not such a big issue at Tesco's, because some people fear going towards digital solutions because of the price tag of it. So you told me that it was basically a big round table, and the solution and the added value of the solution basically was discussed, and you found a compromise. So maybe you could talk.
Well, I wouldn't say it's financially not a challenge, because I think in any organisation it absolutely is. I think what Tesco's do very, very well is they have somebody like me, which is advising and giving them a view on what really good looks like. And then they take that and then they look to how can they make that work with their contract financially. And I think that we keep the two very, very separate. And I think that, in my view, that's the absolutely right thing. So tell me what I should do and tell me what the best solution is, and then we'll go away and make it fit financially without contractor. And I think as well that, Daniel, I think with contractors, I think, even though my view was that they understood technology and they embraced technology and they liked technology, taking that leap to say, this is where I want my clients to go, and not being afraid of a client rejecting it just because based on cost. Actually, you can look at different modeling and different ways of delivering a service, which actually is a benefit to both the client and the pest controller themselves. So, yeah, hopefully that answers. We keep things very, very separate, and I think that's absolutely the right way to do it. So, what's the best solution, and then how people far better qualified than me? How do we get there? How do we get there to make that actually work? And fortunately enough, we've done it, and our business as Tesco's really understand the importance of sustainability and moving forward, and a green approach. And all of those things build into connected technology as well. So there's all those other elements that kind of play into this as well.
So I just have to say kudos to you and your contractor to really make that step and engage and embrace digital technology. I'm sure you've worked on this many, many years. So congratulations to being the world's first, biggest digital pest control contract. We're definitely going to revisit that topic, and are going to look after a couple of months probably how that evolved within your business. Of course, as much as you can share it from your point of view.
Absolutely.
But so grateful that you took the time. So grateful that you shared that, because I think it's incredibly valuable for the future pest managers and looking at where things might be headed. And thank you for your internal insights so much.
No problem, Daniel. It's been a pleasure. Take care.
For me too. You too.
Cheers now. Bye-bye.